Everyone around you seems to be on a GLP-1. Your friend did it for 3 months and lost 20 pounds. Your coworker swears by it. And you're sitting here thinking, is it worth it? Should I just do it too? Today, I'm going to give you the most honest comparison I can between taking a GLP-1 medication and natural body transformation, because I think most people who are trying to make this decision don't really have the full picture. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what GLP medications are, how they work, what they do really well, what they don't do well, how it compares to natural weight loss and fat loss, so that you can make the most informed decision that's best for your body fat goals, and your weight loss goals long term. Most people who are considering a GLP-1 are not doing it because they're lazy. They're doing it because everything else they've tried hasn't worked. And that's totally understandable when you feel like you've tried and your body still isn't changing. But exhaustion and frustration are not reasons enough to just jump into something without totally evaluating what you're actually getting yourself into. I'm Peri, a weight loss and body transformation coach and trainer with 10 years experience, and I've helped hundreds of clients lose weight, shed fat, and tone naturally, and I've lost 37 pounds naturally myself, all without GLP-1s. I've also worked with a handful of people who have come to me after stopping a GLP-1 medication, and we've had to spend a lot of time rebuilding what this medication has broken down. So when I say I've seen both sides, I really have. In this video, we're gonna look at both options across 5 different categories: how they work, what results they produce, what the side effects and risks are, what happens long term, and what your body actually looks like at the end. Category 1. How each approach works. Here's how GLP-1 medications work. GLP-1 agonists like semaglutide or tirzepatide mimics a gut hormone that regulates your appetite. They slow gastric emptying, which means food stays in your stomach longer and you feel fuller faster. They also reduce appetite signals to the brain significantly, which is also known as reducing the food noise. They do not change your metabolism, build muscle, or address the root cause of weight gain in the first place. They also require continued use just to maintain results, and most people regain the weight right back when they stop the medication. On the contrary, here's what natural and strategic weight loss and fat loss does. It addresses the root cause by repairing the metabolic damage first. It builds muscle to raise the basal metabolic rate strategically, aka boosts your metabolism. It uses nutritional structure and progressive overload training to build lean muscle mass while reducing body fat. It teaches the body to maintain results at a higher calorie count through reverse dieting. And it delivers results that are based on built muscle and a boosted metabolism instead of a suppressed appetite. A GLP-1 makes you want less food, whereas strategic natural weight loss and fat loss makes your body better at handling the food you're eating. Those are 2 totally, completely different mechanisms that result in completely different long-term results. Understanding how each one works sets the stage for what results actually look like long-term. And this is where the comparison gets interesting. Category 2, what results each approach produces. Here are the common results that GLP-1s produce. An average weight loss of 15 to 20% of total body weight in clinical trials over 68 weeks. And while the weight loss is real and significant for most people, studies show that 25 to 40% of weight lost on a GLP-1 medication is actually coming from lean muscle mass, not body fat. Body composition after taking a GLP-1 often worsens as well as body fat percentage increases and lean muscle mass decreases. Users also report looking skinny fat or deflated instead of lean, tight, and toned. And typically, results stop, or people tend to yo-yo back and regain the weight after stopping the GLP-1 medication. On the contrary, here are the results that natural weight loss and fat loss produces. Weight loss occurs around 0.5 pound to 2 pounds a week in a fat loss phase. Body composition improves as you build lean muscle mass and reduce body fat. The body looks leaner, tighter, and more defined, and has a better body composition and look overall in comparison to a GLP-1 user, even if both people have lost the same amount of weight. On the back end, results are maintained through a rebuilt and a boosted metabolism without having to be reliant on a medication. When you compare the two, losing 25 pounds by taking a GLP-1 with a third of that being muscle loss, is fundamentally going to look different than even a 20-pound natural weight loss with more muscle. So while the scale may look the same, 25 pounds, the body in the mirror looks completely different. I've worked with a handful of people who have been on GLP-1 medications and then came to me for help because not only had they lost a significant amount of muscle on this medication, but their metabolisms also slowed down on this medication. Not only that, they had regained a lot of the weight back that they lost on the GLP-1. With all of these clients, we had to spend several months rebuilding what the medication had broken down before we could ever start their transformation goals. So do results matter? Yeah, but so do the risks. So let's take a look at that next. Category 3, side effects and risks. Not to sound like a pharma commercial, but here are some of the risks and side effects that come with a GLP-1. Nausea, vomiting, gastrointestinal issues are really common, especially in the beginning. Muscle loss is usually occurring at 25 to 40% of total weight loss. There's potential bone density loss, especially with extended use. There's thyroid concerns, as animal studies show links to thyroid T-cell tumors, although data with humans is still a little limited. There's nutritional deficiency risk because of the suppressed appetite and not eating that many calories, which puts macro and micronutrients at risk. Hair loss is reported by a significant amount of users. There's psychological dependencies on this medication to regulate eating behavior. Not to mention the cost is typically $800 to $1,500 per month without insurance. And there's unknown long-term effects given that widespread use is relatively recent. Here are the natural weight loss and fat loss approach side effects and risks. First, there's an initial adjustment period as the body adapts to nutrition and exercise regimens. There could also be some hunger associated with the fat loss phase, which can be remediated with things like protein, fiber, and volume eating. Temporary scale fluctuations can also be challenging without proper education around what makes it go up and down. And natural weight loss and fat loss typically takes a little bit more time, consistency, and structure in comparison to taking a GLP-1 medication. Now, I'm not here to tell you that GLP-1s are evil or that you shouldn't take them. I'm just trying to give you the full picture because most of the conversations around this medication are about the upside of weight loss and how exciting that is, but completely silent about the downsides like the severe muscle loss, the bone density loss, and what happens after you stop taking them. Side effects are one part of the picture. The long-term outcomes are another. If you're currently trying to decide whether a GLP-1 is best for you or if a natural weight loss and fat loss method is going to work better for your body and your goals, I offer free video consultations where we'll take a look at your specific situation, map out what we think would be best for you, and make a game plan from there. A link to book that consultation is in the description below. Now let's keep going. Category 4. What happens long-term? Here are some of the long-term outcomes from taking a GLP-1 medication. Studies show that 56 to 80% of the weight lost from a GLP-1 is regained within the first 1 to 2 years of stopping the medication. The muscle loss that occurs during a GLP-1 means that the people who regain the weight on the back end are left with a worse body composition than before they took the drug in the first place. Many users find that they have to stay on the medication just to maintain their results as well, which carries both financial and health implications. And last, there's currently no long-term safety data past 5 to 7 years for this medication. On the contrary, here are the long-term outcomes for a natural fat loss and weight loss method. A properly executed transformation with all 3 phases, including a metabolic reset phase, a fat loss phase, and a reverse diet back to maintenance, produces a higher metabolism than before. Muscle built during an active transformation also helps to keep body fat at bay longer term and helps to produce a healthier body composition overall. And results are maintained because there's more muscle mass, less body fat, and a boosted metabolism, meaning the body isn't reliant on a drug to suppress the appetite, and instead, it can run with a fiery engine inside and better body composition overall, naturally, without being reliant on a medication. A GLP-1 can take weight off the body, sure, But a natural approach to weight loss and fat loss changes how your body interacts with food, body fat, and muscle mass long term. And those two things are not the same, and they also don't produce the same life or the same look or the same results on the other side. Category 5, what your body actually looks like at the end. This is the category that most people don't even think about. And it's one of the most important things because long term is really how you're going to maintain your results and what you're going to look like and feel like at the end of this. After a GLP-1, there's weight loss, yes, but there's also significant muscle loss. This means that people are generally left with a softer, not defined, not tight physique. People often look deflated or skinny fat, and not to mention they have a poor body composition, which means lower muscle mass and higher body fat percentage. And that's just not really the look that most people are going for. GLP-1 users also tend to have a slower metabolism due to a suppressed appetite and muscle loss while taking the drug. This means you're left with a slower metabolism and you can enjoy more of your favorite foods. Not only that, people are reliant on this medication just to maintain their results or they have to significantly change their lifestyle just to maintain. On the contrary, here's what people experience with natural weight loss and fat loss: a leaner, more defined, and a toned physique. Clothes fit better, and not just because of size, but because their body shape has changed in a good way. Energy is higher because their metabolism is boosted and they have more lean muscle mass. They have a body that looks like they work out because they built muscle while shedding body fat, and they have a higher and a stronger metabolism compared to when they first started. You don't want to just weigh less, you want to look and feel completely different. And those are two separate goals that require two separate approaches. I lost 37 pounds naturally after having surgery, having mold toxicity, and going through health issues myself. I dropped 3 pant sizes, going from a size 6'8" down to a size 0'2", going from 153 pounds down to 116, built visible abs and toned arms, and I did all of that without a GLP-1. My body now is fundamentally different and my metabolism is way higher. I'm able to enjoy more of the foods I love, and I'm stronger than ever, can literally belt squat 3 times my weight, and I have more muscle now than I've ever had before at the oldest I've ever been. And again, I did all of this without a GLP-1. And that is what a strategic, natural weight loss and fat loss approach looks like. So which is right for you? Taking a GLP-1 or going the natural weight loss and fat loss route is a personal decision, but it would be mindful to book a consultation with a weight loss and body transformation coach and trainer like me, or you might want to talk to your doctor too to see what may be right for you and your goals. Here's the framework I use when people come to me trying to decide. Consider the natural approach first if you're a generally healthy person with no underlying conditions that require a medical intervention. Your goal isn't weight loss, but it's more about improving how you look and how you feel. You want results you can maintain long term without the costs and maintenance associated with a GLP-1. And you're willing to invest the time to do this properly over the course of 9 to 12 months. A GLP-1 may be worth discussing with your doctor if you have obesity-related health conditions that require immediate medical intervention, or your doctor has assessed your specific risk profile and determined that the benefits outweigh the risks. Regardless on what you decide, here's what I can tell you with certainty. If you go on a GLP-1 medication and you do not prioritize heavy strength training with progressive overload, adequate protein intake, adequate calories, and adequate carbs, you will lose muscle mass. If you stop a GLP-1 medication and you haven't boosted your metabolism or built muscle as well, you will regain the weight back after taking the medication. In either case, building muscle and boosting your metabolism is required if you want to maintain results long term, regardless of which approach you take. GLP-1s are not a scam, but they are also not a miracle solution either. They are a tool with real benefits, real risks, and real limitations because they do not boost metabolism or build the foundation of muscle, both are which required to maintain results long term. So while a strategic natural weight loss solution may take a little bit longer, it builds something that the medication cannot: a stronger body, a higher metabolic rate, more muscle mass, and less body fat. not to mention being able to get results and maintain them long term without having to rely on a medication. Now you have the full picture so you can make the right decision for you. If you want to see what natural weight loss and fat loss and body transformation looks like from start to finish, including the structure, the phases, the nutrition plan, and what types of results my clients are getting as well as mine, I invite you to check out the video I made on my custom program, Body Transformation Blueprint. That's linked in the description below. I'll see you there.